Join me as I dive deep into the surprising world of Soros' USAID profits and see if I can uncover the truth behind the numbers. George Soros, a name that sparks intense debate and controversy. The billionaire investor and philanthropist has been at the center of numerous conspiracy theories, and one of the most intriguing ones revolves around his alleged connections to USAID. As we dive into this investigation, it's essential to understand that the topic of Soros' influence on USAID funding is a complex and multifaceted one, with many critics arguing that his involvement undermines the integrity of American foreign policy. Critics argue that Soros' vast network of NGOs and think tanks has significant sway over USAID's funding decisions, leading to a blurring of the lines between philanthropy and policymaking. This, in turn, raises concerns about the potential for ideological bias and even manipulation of foreign governments. For instance, some point to the fact that USAID has funded initiatives that seem to align closely with Soros' Open Society foundations, sparking suspicions of a cozy relationship between the two. Moreover, the lack of transparency in USAID's funding processes has led to accusations that Soros' influence is deliberately hidden from the public eye. This perceived lack of accountability has fueled conspiracy theories, with some claiming that USAID is nothing more than a Trojan horse for Soros' globalist agenda. While these claims might be exaggerated, it's undeniable that the secrecy surrounding USAID's dealings has contributed to the mystique surrounding Soros' role in the organization. As we explore this complex web of relationships, it's crucial to separate fact from fiction and to examine the evidence that either supports or refutes these claims. By doing so, we can begin to untangle the intricate threads that connect Soros, USAID, and the global political landscape. One of the most telling examples of USAID's funding priorities is the agency's support for various voter registration drives around the world. In Ukraine, for instance, USAID has provided funding for organizations that aim to increase voter turnout in regions with high concentrations of ethnic minorities. While this might seem like a laudable goal, critics argue that this funding is, in fact, a thinly veiled attempt to manipulate the political landscape in favor of Soros-backed candidates. In Kenya, USAID has supported initiatives aimed at improving electoral transparency, but some have raised eyebrows at the agency's decision to partner with organizations closely tied to Soros' Open Society foundations. The question remains, are these funding decisions driven by a genuine desire to promote democracy, or are they part of a larger strategy to further Soros' own political agenda? Furthermore, USAID's funding of various educational initiatives has also raised suspicions. In Macedonia, for instance, the agency has supported programs aimed at promoting critical thinking and media literacy. While these goals might seem innocuous, some critics argue that they are, in reality, part of a broader effort to groom a new generation of Soros-friendly journalists and intellectuals. One of the most explosive revelations, however, centers around USAID's funding of a particular project in Rwanda. According to a 2020 report, the agency provided millions of dollars in funding to an NGO that, in turn, was closely linked to Soros' Open Society foundations. What's remarkable about this project is that it aimed to promote women's empowerment through education and entrepreneurship. A laudable goal, to be sure. However, the project's implementation was marred by allegations of cronyism and nepotism, with many arguing that the funds were being channeled to Soros-backed organizations at the expense of more deserving local initiatives. Perhaps the most significant piece of evidence, however, comes in the form of a 2018 testimony by a former USAID official, who revealed that the agency had repeatedly funneled money to organizations that were either directly or indirectly linked to Soros. This testimony has sparked outrage among critics, who argue that it proves, once and for all, that USAID is nothing more than a tool for Soros to further his own ideological agenda. As we reflect on the evidence presented in this investigation, it's clear that the relationship between Soros and USAID is far more complex and nuanced than initially meets the eye. While it's impossible to say with certainty whether Soros is, in fact, profiting from USAID funding, it's undeniable that his influence on the agency's decision-making processes is a matter of great concern. The implications of these revelations are far-reaching, and it's essential that we, as citizens, hold our elected officials accountable for ensuring transparency and accountability in the distribution of USAID funds. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of Soros USAID profits. If you have any thoughts or insights, be sure to share them in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our other videos for more in-depth analyses and investigations.